I'm super excited. Just bought a loft bed for the bedroom studio build. This is episode 1.5 of Moa's bedroom studio build. I say 1.5 because on my Instagram story I showed the process of building this little configuration. My idea is to take this bed, deconstruct it, and then put that bed on top of the loft and slide the other bed under it, increasing the amount of space we have in the room. You might be asking, why do you have two beds in your room? The reason I have two beds in this room is because one of them is reserved for Cohen, my soon-to-be roommate who I went through college with. Cohen is super freaking tight. I hope I can have him in future videos. Right now Cohen's moved to the UK, but he's gonna come back in about a month, and I want to try and have the studio set up as much as possible before he comes back so he can slip right into work. Hey, editor Noah here. I should note that the information about Cohen moving in isn't entirely irrelevant. It turns out that Cohen's actually going to live in a different place, but he'll still come and hang out at some point. But then it begs the question, why do you keep the loft bed? Well, it still provides the opportunity to let someone else move in if they want to. And if I ever want to make a video or record music with a friend, then they can still stay with me, and that's cool. Back to the video. So far, the studio build has just been these sound panels behind me and the makeshift window cover. In the future, I'm going to end up buying more sound panels, and I'll end up making a video on those. Anyways, let's get to it. Step 1, deconstruct my bed. So that went a little better than I expected it would. I thought I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this because this is my landlord's bed that they provided for me. I wasn't sure how easy it was going to be to take apart and store away, but it turns out it was a lot better than I expected. These are just made of like a Velcro that just ripped right off of the bed. Now all I need to do is get a bag for these bolts so I don't lose them. I'm going to clean everything up real quick and then I'll be right back. Now the next step is to bring in the new bed. I live on the top floor of a 2-story building. This thing was freaking heavy to pull up the stairs. We got it up though. Now I'm gonna pull it into this room. Like I said, this thing is freaking heavy. I'm out of breath right now. This is not an advertisement for Wayfair or the Art of Living or whatever the heck this is, but I'm really glad that I got this for $180 when it was actually $600 before tax. Let's open this bad boy up. Great. Now all I gotta do is read a bunch of instructions. Then we're gonna build it. Comes with this extra part that it expects me to put this in the wall, but I'm not going to do that because I'm renting. I was doing my laundry when I was building this, so if anyone's wondering why my dogs are out, that's why. Also, I apologize for this really wide angle. This is a really tight shot to get since my camera was on my dresser and I was working in between the wall, my bed, and the dresser. Also, this is what happens when you don't pay attention. You end up doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, when really, all you had to do is just pick the right screw and it'll go in. But eventually, we finished and we got to the second one. I was trying really hard to be quiet as to not wake up my roommate. The second part was a little bit easier because I literally just did the same thing. The only difference was that this one had some connection bars on it. Also off camera I went ahead and put the head and the foot of the bed on. See now, this is the scary part because I don't have anyone to spot me on this, so I'm just gonna full send it. I had to triple check every time I was doing something. Put J.
And then it was time to connect them.
Building furniture from IKEA or Wayfair tends to be an adventure of its own. It's like you start off and you're like, what the heck is going on? And then it slowly starts to make sense and you're like, oh yeah. And then somewhere along the way, at a lot of points, you end up just getting really frustrated because you're like squinting at the instructions like, what the frick is going on? So I took a little break. It was 10:30 by the time that I got to this point, and I would have stayed up later, but I had a phone call that I needed to attend to. Now we're back the next morning and we're gonna put the ladder on next. Pretty straightforward. That way I can mess this up right. If there's anyone out there that knows anything about ratchet attachments for an Allen wrench, send it my way. 'Cause I feel like I could have tightened a lot of these bolts faster if I just had an attachment like that. Also, this kept happening. So the next step is to take these cross beams and put them into these little slots over here. Let this be a note to anyone out there that's doing something like this. Work smart and safe, because I almost injured myself trying to pull my mattress up to my bed like this. Also, for anyone wondering, yeah, my roommate's cat ripped up my bed sheets. I put it up. That's it for part 1 of Moa's home studio build. I almost forgot that the whole point of this was so that I could slide this bed under that bed. So now we're gonna take this bed and slide it under that one. I think I'm gonna put the dresser there too. And just like that, I got more space right here. The bed's built, and I have a slightly more open floor plan. Now the next step is to get a desk and a stool, and the rest of the acoustic treatment. That's all I got for this video. Thank you for watching.